Our last conversation on the show today will look at the intersection of politics and national development. We're joined at this point by Dr. Abdul Yahya. He's the Deputy National Chairman, Grassroots Mobilization for All Progressives Congress, APC, nationwide. Doc, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Right. Well, let's start. Let's talk about, first of all, the connection, as it were, if you like, the nexus between politics and national development. Because in the case of Nigeria, it seems it's all about politics today, politics tomorrow, and politics the day that follows. At what point do we marry both of them as a country?
Okay, thank you so much. As you can see, democracy today gave us the bullet, the ballot in our hand that we used to vote. And that ballot will transfer to what we can use for national development tomorrow. Because what we vote for determines your future.
Interesting. But again, it's 2027 in front of us. Politicians like yourself are busy doing all of the politicking, peddling narratives. Everybody's trying to get their foot in the door, find some sort of, if you like, specific areas of advantage. The ruling party, your party, the APC, is doing their own game, and the opposition side is playing their own game and things like that. Would you say, at this point in time, as a country and as a government, we may be distracted from pursuing developments because of the 2027 ambition?
Yes, I agree with you. Because if you look at our future, is highly determined by what we, come 2027, what our vote will give to us. Once we vote rightly, like we are advocating, mobilizing for APC, what we give to the public, if you vote for us, we are sure that we have continuity in policy. We are sure that, yes, the voters, the citizens, will enjoy and have courage to partake in future democratic exercise. And once you have been discouraged, taken away by one or two other things, violence, protests, lies, it will affect the economic development of this country. So as much as possible, we should tell our people, we should sensitize our people. Now we're in an engagement era, and this era is an era that, yes, we should let people know that there are differences between you engaging in political violence, in political protests, or to put down our economic development. You cannot have peace. You cannot make money when there's no peace.
I'm sure Juma has a question.
Now, let us look at credibility, transparency, and accountability. How can that be entwined when it comes to democratic institutions?
Yeah, as much as possible. You know, in life you cannot give it all 100%. A lot of policy have been backed up. Like democracy has been the best thing that's ever happened to this nation. Today, your vote counts. What you bring to the table is what you have. What you vote for is your future of yourself and your generation. And I thank God to thank Mr. President. He has a strategic plan for Nigeria. He's not the type of president that look at imitate. He's somebody that put a strategic and holistic plan of the nation into one umbrella and make sure he's driving it for a cause. And that cause is what we are preaching. That's what we are saying. That Nigerians should please ensure that he returns to ensure what? Quality of governance, continuity of policy, and to give everybody right. Like come to see, like Nigeria, at least 65 to 70% of our nation population still fall back to the youth age. The youth. And this youth age is what we use to enhance development. It's what we use to create employment. Statistically, if you look at Nigeria, we've gone beyond, surpassed the period of us depending so much on importation.
You know what? Someone listening to you right now would say, Honorable, I beg to differ. Because you made mention, you said, whoever we vote in comes into power. Now, let me take you back to the INEC chairman, not the person than Josh Amupiton, who says the part of the problem of electoral process are two when it comes to thuggery, right? And then the second one is voter apathy. Now, how can we nip these two in the bud in order to get better results when it comes to electoral process in Nigeria? And let me take you again, because these are many questions in one. During the AMAC election in Abuja, we saw the turnout, nothing to write home about. And when I asked a guest of mine, can we use this turnout to predict the outcome of 2027? He said no. And I'm wondering why. So talk a bit about that, please.
You do mention of AMAC election. During the AMAC election, we partake in the AMAC election. The turnout was poor. And because the turnout was poor, Abuja, as the capital of Nigeria, is an elite town. The population of indigene is about 5 to 10%. And most people don't know that democracy at grassroots has much impact on your well-being and the society at large. So we cannot use that turnout of the AMAC election to predict or determine the presidential and governorship election, what's coming in 2027 by the special grace of God. As you rightly mentioned, what we have in AMAC, they said the volume of what you are going to determine the strategy you deploy for it. Come the next, by the special 2027 election, every Nigerian has come to understand that most people that are sponsoring this thuggery, that according to political party, their children are not Nigerian. The association of aggrieved politicians that have looted Nigeria, frustrated Nigerian, and their families are enjoying abroad. Not like me and you that are children that are schooling in the public school in Nigeria, in Abuja here. So now, if you are being used as thug, you should know that one, you've killed your future. As those politicians, we are their family members, we are their children. Okay, they call for protest. They'll call you, give you little money, gin, some drugs that cause harm to your system and your mental health. They'll tell you, go and do this. At that process, a lot of them are being arrested. At that process, a lot of them are being killed. That's why, as grassroots mobilization, we are mobilizing and sensitizing people that come. These people should not come and lie to us any longer. If anybody should come and tell you that, don't agree, do this, ask the person, okay, let your family member, your wife or your son, lead. If you are going to distribute arms or give them what will destroy them, let your own family member come and do it for us. At that time, at that process, we will now know that yes, these people are fooling us. There are a lot of posts on social media sensitizing and educating people that yes, we should not be used as thugs. Your vote is your right. As much as possible, democracy have given us ballot. What to do with the ballot determines our future. And by the special grace of God, some of us have gone down to the local area. We've done our perception audit at the local area.
What was the outcome?
Yes, the perception audit we had is a lot of awareness are not gotten to people at the grassroots.
Who do we blame? Politicians, INEC, or civil society organizations?
Media.
In fact, if we look at it critically and holistically, we'll blame some people hating some sensitive position in the economy. There are a lot of programs already on ground. The people at the grassroots are not even aware to take advantage of it. It's only few. Like if you look at today, the education policy, where Mr. President is the first time in the history of Nigeria that the president has come out with a loan for students.
Not NEL fund.
NEL fund. That parents don't go and sell their property. Parents don't go local to sell their farmland to pay for their children's tuition fee. But all such information are not the grassroots for the parents. So by the special grace of God, we are trying our best to tell them. And by the special grace of God, with time, I know that Nigeria will realize that it's better to have a long-term plan, a long-term strategic plan, a long-term holistic plan for the nation than a short-term one that we've experienced in the past.
Not too long ago, a little over a year ago, the president told his cabinet members, especially ministers, to say, look, you have to do more work in spotlighting and creating visibility for the impact we are making, especially on the basis of the Renewed Hope agenda. Two questions in one here. First of all, did the president have to specifically give that directive? Second, how much has that directive paid off in terms of implementation or carrying out the directive?
Yeah, like just as I've told you that I did my organization, my support group, we took it upon ourselves, we finance ourselves, we come together as grassroots mobilization for APC nationwide. On behalf of the president and the party? Both the party and the president. We went down to the grassroots. What we discovered, there was a lot of gap.
Between what your government is doing and what the people are feeling?
No, not what the people are feeling. The information about what the government is doing.
Okay, maybe opportunities available, they are not aware of.
They're not aware. So, the president gave that directive based on is the feedback he's having from the grassroots. There are two things, sorry, give it to him. This is the first time we have a president that is more of a grassroots. And he listens to the people at the grassroots. His ears is on ground. I know in politics or in governance, you cannot be everywhere. But the feedback he had was what led him to give that instructions. Let my people know what is happening. Let my people feel this that I'm giving you. For the first time in Nigeria, Nigerians have outgrown the stage of looking for bailout to pay salary. The people at the grassroots, 80% of them are farmers, local government workers. In the past, we all witnessed that Nigerian governors were begging for bailout to enable them pay salary. But today is a thing of the past. Nobody, in fact, the boy of 4 or 5 years now will not even understand what they call bailout in Nigeria. Thank to Mr. President. So he gave us instruction based on the philosophy he's having, and to tell them that no, they should complement his effort and let the people at the grassroots know what he's doing. Thank you.
Now let me ask a question for when the necessary awareness is being made to douse the tension of voter apathy and people come out in their masses to vote. Now, how can political leaders be held accountable for campaign promises after 2027 election?
In fact, this is very, very important question. Because a lot of politicians, after being sworn in, they remain here in Abuja. They don't go back home. The people at home saw them only on occasion or keep them little incentives. But right now, that is what we are telling them that, yes, our own duty. As grassroots mobilization for APC nationwide, our duty is to enlighten the people at the grassroots that this is time to hold these people accountable. Before we vote you, these are electoral promises. Once you get back to that office, periodically there must be a town hall meeting to tell us what and what, this is what you said, and this is what you've done. If not until we get that right, this development vaccine will not get to the people at grassroots 100%. The president is trying. The cloud is wide. It has dropped to the cloud. How can it drop to the ground? And those are the areas we are looking at right now, and we are trying to make sure that we enhance the gap between the two, by the special grace of God.
Once the president, on the day of his inauguration, on the 29th of May 2023, announced the suspension of fuel subsidy payments, one of the things he said following that very radical announcement was that, look, states will now get more allocation, more money on a monthly allocation basis. Of course, local government autonomy came in August of 2024 eventually. And we understand as of today, yes, that the enforcement of that rule, that's landmark judgment by the Supreme Court may not have been 100%, but we understand that local governments now getting hundreds of millions where they used to get less than 100 million. Yesterday, a member of the ADC here said His local governments got up to $1 billion during this last cycle of disbursement of FARC and things like that. How do we measure the blessing, as it were, that is coming from the suspension of fuel subsidy payments? On top of all that, the landmark judgment ruling from the Supreme Court, because at the end of the day, we believe that the basic metric should be the quality of life of the everyday Nigerian, not by the figures coming out from the National Bureau of Statistics or from the presidency or even from your party, the APC.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. President, I give it to him. One of the fundamental responsibility of any leader is decision making. He came up, before swearing in, he had already had his own plan, holistic plan on how to drive Nigeria to the next level.
But he said that plan was not part of his speech for that day, though.
Even though it was not part of his speech for that day, but he pronounced it on that day. So whatever we've had is just assumption. It's just assumption. So he has come out to tell us that yes, fuel subsidy has been removed. And he promised that that fuel subsidy will be used for the states, and local government.
Right.
And there's nobody in Nigeria today that will not tell you that yes, the allocation of the state and local government have been increased. And that is why there are a lot of developmental projects, there are a lot of developmental projects, there are a lot of policies that they can embark on freely because they have the money to do it. At the local government level, thank God there's transparency in Nigeria. There's social media. Whatever goes to every local government, it's been published. It's not for the electorate to call the governors or call the people accountable for it. The implementation of local government autonomy in anything policy that's been enacted, being made a law, it has a process. This is the first time in Nigeria where a sitting president will follow up such case down to Supreme Court and get the victory. He has his plan. You make sure that yes, this policy is being implemented. That is why we are begging the people at grassroots. We are sensitizing them that there is need for continuity. The ballot paper that is in our hand in this democratic era is to vote. And once we vote wisely, once we vote well, one will ensure continuity of policy. And once we ensure this continuity of policy, the renewable agenda will now take us to the next level. Okay, you have a plan. You've done it to some bit, some step, a milestone. How can you harness it to implement it? That's the stage we are now. And by the special grace of God, when it's being implemented, Nigerians at every level will be impressed with Mr. President. We're impressed with him. He has done a lot. We've seen changes. Bros, in policy making, since policy is for the people, it must affect some certain group of people. And as much as it must affect some certain group of people, you should not, because of that, look at the advantage that surpasses the disadvantage to stop it. So by the special grace of God, this money that the local governments are getting today, they will be held accountable for it. We're in an era that, before you say Jack Robinson, somebody is returning your project and sending it to the social media. So I strongly believe Mr. President has come up with a transparent allocation law formula. Nigerians have seen that there's a robust money going to the state and local government that will enhance development at the grassroots, and both at the state level and the 3 tiers of government. So if they fail to take that responsibility, I strongly believe they'll be accounted for it.
All right, Honorable Abdul, talking about the grassroots now, as someone who is learning about all of this process, trying to understand it, what is the relationship between good governance and sustainable economic development?
Yeah. You know, good governance has to do with the policy formulation, implementation, planning process that will enhance development at the grassroots. And those developments, if you go to some, you just heard that Mr. President has there's a pilot scheme or pilot program ongoing for agriculture in every ward in Nigeria today. There are a lot of disbursement for agricultural projects that's ongoing. There's solar electrification project ongoing for the people at the grassroots. And the president now understands that 60% of Nigerians that are not being able to pay their tuition fee are people that are in rural areas. That's why I now came up with Telephone and others. The anchor borrowing program, the farmers program ongoing, and we thank Almighty God for our First Lady, Senator Mama of Nigeria. And we can see that this is the first time in the history of Nigeria the president of the whole world recognized her.
You're talking about President Trump.
President Trump recognized her, which has never happened in the history of Africa. Because he commended the effort of her husband, of our dear president, to ensure that, yes, both the women, youth, are actively involved in prayers and activities of the government. Bros, me and you were youth. Since the inception of Nigeria, has there been any government that has youth involvement as ministers, as head of parastatal like this present government? The question we should ask ourselves. The future is in our hand. It's been given to us now. Why are we complaining? What we need to do is to control. See, we don't have any country of ours apart from Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most peaceful and lovely countries that we can do anything freely in the world as citizens. So what to do is to join hands together, collaborate together, and make sure that, yes, the renewal agenda of Mr. President is being actualized. We've given him the second tenure. We have continuity of policy. Plus, you cannot start building a house. It's one of the fundamental problems we have in Nigeria is continuity of policies. Once there's change of governance or tenure enlargement and there's no continuity, if the past government built an edifice to even 90% completion stage, the other government will abandon it. But we thank God this government came and invited most projects of President Muhammadu Buhari, and most of them may be completed today. Bros, if you look at Nigeria today, somebody asked a question that, okay, what is the impact of Nigerian economy? The impact of the cash flow in Nigerian economy? I said, look, if you look at what is happening in the coastal highway from Lagos to Calabar today, it will create enough job opportunity for the youth.
But that project has also been very controversial, hasn't it?
Yes.
Are we going to pretend about that as well and just behave as though all is well with the project?
Yeah, bro. You know, there are a lot of speculative effects on anything you do in this world. Whatever that is good, people must criticize it. According to my former boss, he said, if you are not to be criticized, you are just more to be praised. If you look at the economic importance of that project, it supersedes whatever people talk about it today. But how long will we continue without looking for how to create job opportunity? Without revolving our economy around Nigeria? That will create room for job opportunity, tourism, and so many other things. Today, everybody is running to Dubai, running to other countries. We're reaching them. Can't we have it along that way? So, bros, what the developmental impact of such project is more than what people are saying today.
I want us to end this conversation because time is spent now on the note of politics. All right, you've taken our time to talk about the programs of the president, but in 1 minute, let's talk about the opposition, the political opposition that is, that your party, the All Progressives Congress, is up against as we get closer to 2027.
Okay. As quick as possible, I'll be brief about it. Just like some people complain that the president is lobbying or talking to governors, every governor is turning to APC today.
The allegation that he's coercing them.
Coercing them. Let me tell you, all those ones are false. You cannot be in a second ship. I'm right here in Global Television. And Global Television will pray that it should be #1 television in the world. As you straighten your activities and program, People look at your onions. They'll come and show you. You win awards. So every Nigerian knows that, yes, other parties are already in a second ship. They have to come and align.
It's only the APC that's afloat.
Yes.
And you don't see the ADC as a strong contender?
No. I don't see that as a strong contender. Because, one, a party that the foundation is not well solid, if your foundation is solid, you can have the crack you're having today. The crack they're having today. They have I'm almost 2 or 3 party chairmen. She's struggling, she's battling in the court. At this critical electoral period, that the activities of candidation will come to a turn of a pass.
Incidentally, it appears we won't be able to push that conversation further. But the goal was to talk about governance and politics and not to discuss opposition. Hopefully, at another point, we'll bring up that conversation with you again. But in the meantime, I would like to say a big thank you to you, Dr. Abdul Yahya, Deputy National Chairman, Grassroots Mobilization for APC Nationwide, for coming to talk to us on Global Morning today.
Thank you so much.
Great. And that's what we're leaving it on the program, everyone. This is a very promising Friday, running into an amazing weekend. I would like to remind you, too, that the views of our guests across all of our programs are their opinions. I'm Uyi Agmofegwe saying have a big weekend ahead of you.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program. And of course, Honorable Abdul Yahya, thank you once again for being a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead from Uyi and I. We say bye-bye.
Thank you.